Elon Musk says it is, quote, a viper's nest of radical left Marxists who hate America. Supporters say it saves lives and projects American power and influence. So, what is USAID? Well, the United States Agency for International Development was set up in 1961 by President John F. Kennedy.
If we were not so heavily involved, our voice would not speak with such vigor. And as we do not want to send American troops to a great many areas where freedom may be under attack, we send you.
By 2023, it had a budget of $40 billion, covering an estimated 120 countries. But on his first day in office, Donald Trump implemented a 90-day freeze on foreign assistance, taking quite a different view from JFK.
The whole thing is a fraud. Very little being put to good use. Every single line that I look at in terms of events and transactions is either corrupt or ridiculous.
Now, more than 10,000 people had been employed by the agency, but that workforce will now go down to a skeleton staff of just 611 essential workers. And the USAID website is now down with only this message saying, in order to be consistent with the president's executive orders, this website is currently undergoing maintenance as we expeditiously and thoroughly review all of the content. Now, this is the sort of content that puts USAID in Trump and Elon Musk's sights. The White House highlighted these specific programs, the pet projects of entrenched bureaucrats, as it called them. Among them, $47,000 allegedly spent on a transgender opera in Colombia, $70,000 on a diversity-themed musical in Ireland, and $2 million for sex changes in Guatemala. Now, these claims are all quite controversial in themselves, as are others. For instance, one account on X alleged that Ben Stiller and other actors have been paid by USAID to do photo calls with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Elon Musk himself retweeted that, but Ben Stiller has rejected that accusation completely. And actual funding recipients that have riled Musk include mainstream media outlets like Politico, as well as the BBC's international charity, BBC Media Action. All of these, though, are cherry-picked examples. They're also very small pieces of fruit in the overall pie. This shows where all that money goes. It includes USAID, but other sources of US foreign aid, $70 billion in total. You can see the largest chunk goes to economic development, then you've got peace and security, humanitarian assistance, health down here at the bottom. And Ukraine is the top beneficiary, by quite some way at the top there of USAID money, followed by Israel. Military aid to Israel is exempt from this. Now, how is that money all spent? Well, it includes funding for media, in this case, independent outlets to counter Russian information efforts, but also more tangible things like prosthetic limbs for amputees in Ukraine, $150,000 of aid towards a contract to supply those. Or go to South Africa. It alone received $440 million. Much of that goes to HIV programs. At least 8.5 million people living with HIV, they are reliant on USAID money. So whatever arguments can be made about individual funding grants and whether they are or are not worth the money to US interests, this total pause on funding means that entire programs are being removed.